Today we are at Disney's Hollywood Studios and we are having lunch at Hollywood and Vine. If you don't know, we do dining reviews every single Monday, so be sure to check those out. Now, if you have never been to Hollywood and Vine before, for lunch and dinner, they do Minnie's seasonal dine. So it is now, as you can tell from my outfit, it is the holiday dine. So Mickey and Minnie are here. They are dressed in their holiday best, and I am super excited to get some selfies and get some pics of them. And yeah, this is normally this is buffet style. Currently, it is served table service. So it is $55 per person, and you get appetizer, entree, and dessert included with that. Once the food shows up, we will give you the lowdown on what everything is for the holiday dine this year.
So here at Hollywood and Vine, I think Taylor did mention that it used to be buffet. If she didn't, this used to be a buffet restaurant or buffet style. So basically when you came in, it was still one price, you got to see the characters, but you had a whole array of options to choose from as far as the buffet goes. And they did breakfast, lunch, and dinner. Obviously, breakfast was different from lunch and dinner. But lunch and dinner was pretty much the same. They may have had like a few different things. Thank you. Between some of the entrees and just options that you could choose from. So here right now, it's $55 per person for lunch and dinner, and you get the choice of an entree. You don't really get a choice of an appetizer. They basically have a tossed salad or a plant-based tossed salad, which I guess is just the dressing is not made with like a ranch. It's more plant-based ranch. So you get that. Now you do have several options you can choose from as far as the entrees go here. Whether that's a beef tenderloin, turkey breast, shrimp with macaroni and cheese, which sounds really weird, pork loin, salmon, and a summer truffle risotto. So giving you kind of some plant-based options as well on the entree menu. Now I gotta say, I loved this restaurant when it was a buffet. I just felt like I have more opportunity to really choose what I want to eat. You know, because they would still have probably a tenderloin up there, a pork tenderloin. They might have some type of chicken. They might have some type of beef. They would have a carving station. So you could get a little bit of everything. And if you didn't like something, you could always go back and try it again. And that kind of gets taken away here once they switch to like a prefix style menu. But I will say it is kind of nice that you still get the opportunity here to see some of the characters. But we've got our food, so let's talk a little bit about it. So for the appetizer, they bring out a chopped salad bowl. This is mixed greens, tomatoes, cucumbers, red onion, cornbread croutons, homemade smokehouse ranch dressing. And between the two plant-based, that's really the only difference is the ranch dressing. The ranch dressing on the plant-based is just a plant-based ranch dressing. So it is pretty good. Very typical kind of generic tossed salad. I will say what threw me for a loop were the cornbread croutons. I was expecting more of like a savory, salty bite, and I got a more sweeter crunch in there because the cornbread was not really as savory. It was a little bit more sweeter because it's cornbread.
So along with our salad to start, they do bring out rolls and butter as well. Josh didn't exactly talk about the butter, but I can tell you that it was definitely a 5. It was whipped butter. It was nice and spreadable. And it was very good. I think I had just like a little bit of sweetness in there, whether that was the roll or the butter, I couldn't really tell. But it was overall really good, and they did serve you a pretty large portion of rolls. For my entree today, I had the garlic and cracked black pepper sliced beef tenderloin. This came with sour cream and chive whipped potatoes, sauteed green beans, and an herb relish on top of the beef. Overall, I thought it was a pretty good beef tenderloin dish. It did taste more of maybe it was like a prime rib instead of like actual like fillet type of beef tenderloin. It was very good though. I had mine cooked medium rare. What it kind of seemed like to me is that our food came out super fast. Like we literally got our salad and our bread, and then like maybe 2 minutes later, we hadn't even picked up our roll yet and our entrees were out. So what it's kind of seeming like is that they are still kind of preparing these entrees the way they would for a buffet, because that is actually the only kitchen they have here is like where they're cooking there for the buffet. So it seems like they're cooking it that style. That way they can just serve it much more fast than they would if this was more of a table service restaurant. But the tenderloin was still very good. I didn't really need the relish that was on top of it. The tenderloin was seasoned very well on its own with like the cracked pepper. Those potatoes though were amazing. They were super smooth and creamy, and I loved the flavor in there with the horseradish. There's a little bit of garlic in there. And then, I mean, you can't really mess up green beans, but I did really enjoy that these green beans were not mushy. They were nice. They had a little crunch to them still, and they had really good flavor with the seasoning on them. So overall, I would say it was a pretty good entree, but in my opinion, I would probably not come back to this restaurant until it's buffet style again, only because of the price.
For my entree today, I decided to go with the spiced rubbed pork loin. This is served with creamy soft cheese polenta, spicy mustard barbecue sauce, and bacon peach chutney. And I gotta say, overall, this was actually a pretty decent entree. Pork was sliced pretty thin, not really dry, it's still pretty moist. But the spiciness of the barbecue sauce was a little spicy. It was good. It was a nice, sweet and spicy barbecue sauce, which I think really added really well, especially with the polenta in there, and then the bacon peach chutney, which added not only sweetness, but also added a little bit more texture to the dish, you know, because the polenta's pretty creamy, and then you've got the tenderloin, and then that chutney in there really adds a nice little flair to the dish. So it was pretty good. And I will say that the portion size was pretty decent. I didn't expect it to be as large as it was. It was definitely a more filling dish on the polenta, a ton of polenta in there. But overall, I would say it was still pretty decent.
For my dessert, I had the chocolate s'mores pie. This is dark chocolate mousse with toasted marshmallow and graham cracker streusel. So this was more of a deconstructed s'mores pie. I was expecting like an actual pie shape. But yeah, like I said, it was deconstructed. It was kind of like a scoop of the chocolate mousse in there, which actually was very rich, nice and chocolatey, nice and sweet. Like I said, rich, but it wasn't super overpowering. I did like the toasted marshmallow on there as well. It was like a square piece of marshmallow. However, the way that it was kind of plated was kind of hard to get it all in one bite, so I had to like scoop it all together. But flavor-wise, it was really good. It was just complicated to spoon it all in one bite. But I love myself a good chocolate mousse, so.
For dessert today, I decided to go with the lemon cake with fresh strawberries. This is a lemon bun cake, strawberries, fresh whipped cream, and a mint. It was pretty good. It was basically like a strawberry shortcake with angel food cake or whatever, but it was lemon flavored. It was pretty good. I would have liked to have had a little bit more or a few more strawberries on top, mixed all together in there. It was kind of hidden by all of the whipped cream, so there really wasn't that much on there. But overall, I mean, it was still lighter, wasn't very dense and heavy. And then there's just a good balance between the strawberries and that lemon in there. So pretty good little dessert.
So I pretty much agree with everything that Josh said about our dinner today. Well, I guess it was lunch. It feels like dinner because it's been so gloomy out. But I agree with everything that he said. We have always enjoyed this restaurant. We have come here for years and years with our family. We always loved coming here for breakfast for the buffet because you cannot go wrong with a breakfast buffet, especially when there's characters. So this was definitely, oh, I'm getting dirt on. So this was definitely different than what we are used to. I definitely would have preferred a family style versus ordering an entree, because then we would have had more choices, and that's kind of what they're doing at some of the other buffet restaurants. So I would have liked that more. I did still enjoy the food, but Pluto waving. I did still enjoy the food, but I definitely agree with Josh about probably not coming back until it is buffet style again. I do think that kids will still enjoy this because they are getting to see the characters, but it is not that same character interaction that you are used to when you can actually hug them and hold their hands and, you know, get those cute little pictures that everybody loves. But they do also give you this little card, and it has their character signatures on there from Hollywood and Vine. So not the same as your little character signature book, but this is still cute little keepsake to have from your meal here. But overall, it was pretty good, just not the same. So let us know if you have been to Hollywood and Vine during Minnie's seasonal holiday dine.